Hi guys, haven't been here in a while, I'm so sorry for that. I really needed to take a break to recollect, to decide how I'm gonna move forward with, well, my whole art journey. So, I felt like starting the year with looking back on everything I've done, everything I've created, and go from there. Let's start with my sketchbook. First of all, first thing I drew in this one was the update of my logo, which is just the rough sketch, I'd say, in this sketchbook, and it's way more updated and a bit more detailed digitally. A lot of what's in this sketchbook are Inktober drawings, which I'm not really in the mood to go over. I had a whole video planned to do about them, but I'm not really proud of how everything turned out, so I'm not gonna show them again. There's still some left on my Instagram and you can check them there if you want. The rest are archived because they're not my best work. So let me show you something else that I've done this year and I really enjoyed. These are some of my somewhat realistic portraits. First we have Elvira, Mistress of Darkness, of course. She turned out alright, but I somewhat feel like I could have done better. Maybe I'll get to revise it at a later date, we'll see. Then of course we have Lydia from Beetlejuice, one of my favorite female characters of all time. I really had fun and went all out with this one, and yeah, I'm quite proud of this one. Next we have the other spooky child, Wednesday Addams. I think I took the longest time to do her and I think it shows. Still, I see some techniques that I have to work more on and improve. Now, moving away from my sketchbook, I'll be going through probably one of my favorite things I've ever done. Something that is not completed yet, as some of my followers know. I'm planning on creating a coloring book at some point. For the theme, I've decided to go with some spooky women and some pages of creepy creatures and skeletons and mushrooms and all the good creepy stuff. So of course, one of the ladies, you can see her here, she's Medusa, you know her well, tragic story, but I wanted to represent her to the best of my abilities. I really love this artwork, I'm really proud of it. Then we have this beautiful lady who will not be in the coloring book, but I will maybe create something in the same theme. She will be in a different project, which I will be announcing a bit later. I had a lot of fun drawing this kind of hair, and I think I'll try to be incorporating it in more of my drawings. Next we have my pretty mushroom girl. I do love her a lot. I love the slimy little buggers here. I love the teeth, I love the skull, I love everything about her. Our spider lady, which, if I'm not wrong, she was also used in one of my YouTube videos where I narrated a horror story. I really enjoyed the idea of making the spiders from jewels. Next we have another lady who was used in my horror story Narrations. Of course I drew her with two purposes, for that narration and for this coloring book that will come at some point. This is a version that I would want to use in the coloring book. Then for the story she had a different face. This was her second face because I didn't want to redraw it or do it digitally. I created some extras and I'm really proud of this idea too. Then we have the Trypophobia type of girl, which I also created for a horror story narration, and I will also be using in the upcoming coloring book. And our last beauty, which was also inspired by one of the stories that I narrated, is this one, a pin-up like retro zombie girl. I really love her. So up next, let's look through what I like to call my category of hearts and snakes. This year I was really into drawing human hearts and snakes. These are two things that I enjoy drawing and I really wanted to improve myself on them. This is definitely one of my favorites this year. When creating this, I guess I went with a classical saying of home is where the heart is, but made it spooky. Next, I think that's when I started my snake craze this year with this one. And yeah, it's another heart and a snake, and it doesn't have any deep meaning behind it. Up next we have this, which is a print. The original is in a loving home, and I'm very happy with who owns it, and I'm happy it's treasured. And it has a special place in my heart. Plus, I do love the hatching and all the details that I've put into this one. Next, this one is maybe something that I was in a Valentine's type of mood when creating, and I really do enjoy it, and I think it's really fun. I don't think it was as liked or appreciated as I wanted it to be, but I'm really happy with it, especially with the shading on the hand. Something about it just makes me very, very pleased with how it turned out. Moving on, we have another snake. Maybe one of the first snakes that I drew this year, in a fight with a swan. Why? I have no idea. I just really enjoy the motif of snakes and birds fighting. Maybe one of my worst snake creations of all time. I had something really good in mind, and somehow I was not able to put in the level of detail that I wanted to. I did not enjoy the finished result. I will try again, because I do want to create a proper snake skeleton. This one turned out to be way too minimalistic for my taste. I would have liked if I would have put all the details in the skeleton. It's an alright drawing, and I really like the flowers. Moving on is my last snake of the year, and one of my proudest drawings. I really enjoy this one, and I took a long time doing it. This one was actually started based on an idea from Inktober. I think the prompt for a day was loop, and I instantly thought of an Ouroboros, so... Now, one of the categories of art that I created most for this year was my horror story narrations, because I did a full year of weekly videos, so that's over 50 illustrations. So we have our ugly Ratman boy. Yes, I really love this story. The stories are still available and will mostly always be available on this channel. Please go watch them, listen to them. They're really, really good stories. So this is one of the stories that I enjoyed so much, but I will probably say that about all of them. So when talking about these drawings, I will not talk about the stories because I do not want to spoil them, in case you actually want to listen to some. Now this one is actually one of my favorite drawings, and I think I will try this style more in the future. Now this one, well, honestly it could have been better. I like my idea. It went well with the story, but I could have done it a bit better. In order to do that though, I think I should have used a bigger piece of paper and worked on it for way more hours, which unfortunately, when doing one video a week plus other artworks, it would have been kind of impossible. I might revisit an idea similar to this in the future. Yes, another of my creepy ladies. I really, really enjoy this one. I did kind of butcher her face, but I think I corrected that digitally. Still, I love this idea and I love this story. I will probably do more people with creepy crawlers coming out of their faces. Okay, so this one, oh man, this was such a good story. I know it might look like just a really pretty girl, and it's not just that, it's so cool. I really love this idea. Ooh, this one. Oh man. Yeah. Well, I think you can pretty much figure out what the story is about. I think the most fun thing for me with this one was the fact that while drawing this dude, and especially during the sketch process, I somewhat made him look like Richard Ramirez, which is simply proof of how many true crime documentaries I'm watching. Would like to be able to work more with alcohol-based markers. Unfortunately, they're quite pricey, so I'll see if I can get my hands on some eventually. Next, ooh, we have this sexy beast. Damn, this was such an interesting story, and I had so much fun with this artwork. I'm really, really proud of it. I love the shading, I love the shape, I love all the scales, I love the anatomy, I love everything about it. I'm really proud of this one. I think it didn't get the love it deserved, but hey. Oof, this one. Yes, so I had an idea for this creepy room, for the smoke, for the eyes, for everything. It really did not translate as well as I hoped it would. I still need to learn so much about watercolor. The most important thing that I need to learn about watercolor is being patient. I need to wait for the colors to dry, and I need to layer them. This one could actually use way more work. And I need to work on my perspective as well. So let's just forget this one happened. This one is one of my all-time favorites. One of my creepiest monsters. I really enjoyed doing this one. It's one of the first drawings I did this year, sometime maybe in January, February, I'm not sure. And here we have another one of my watercolor trials. I am not really happy about this one either. I really tried. I'll have to try some more, I guess. We have this creepy demon Catholic priest. Definitely had fun doing this one because, well, my, let's say, relationship with Christianity is, not great. Moving on. Oh, okay, so, I mean, I don't know. The anatomy is bad, the perspective is worse, the shading is... no. I wish I would have done better for this one. I really tried though, I really tried, but it really was beyond my abilities at that time. Oh, okay, this one was a mess. Come on, look at it. I tried a certain shading technique for fur, but I really did not understand it at that moment, and it shows. It's fascinating though to see that from the beginning of the year to the present my skills have improved quite tremendously. Next, oh yes, this is one drawing from a series of 4 or 5, I'm not really sure. I don't know where all the drawings are, I don't know if I have all of them, but this story was amazing in multiple parts and I strongly recommend you all to listen to them. I somehow messed up their faces, I don't know what I did there. I focused so much on the tentacles that I pretty much ruined the characters. Then, yeah, I think this was the first from the series. Yeah, maybe second or third in the story. This creepy young girl, seeing how her proportions are drawn here, she's creepy, and it's my fault. Oops. Yeah, I love the monster behind her, I love the branchy things that I did. And last one that I have, I'm not sure if it's the last one at all or... Again, I think I tried to do more than I could, and it's not great. And the last drawing that I could find from my horror story narrations, illustrations, is this one, which I am incredibly proud of. It's a drippy, slimy skeleton, which has a really spooky story behind it. I love it so much. For this I went in the direction of death metal artwork. I tried my best. I still have so much to improve in this area. I really love that style. Still, it's one of my favorite drawings from this year. Next category is my mermaid. I didn't do the full mermaid, I didn't follow a prompt list, I just wanted to draw a few mermaids for mermaid. They were definitely not really appreciated by my followers on Instagram, but I sure enjoyed doing them. This is one of my favorites, I really love the idea of a death mermaid. I do love the flowiness of the hair and the tail, and always the stippling is my favorite technique, so this is a 10 out of 10 for me. This one I actually tried to color digitally. I didn't do a great job on that, I kind of rushed it. I might eventually do more work on her, I really liked her. I think she's really pretty. Now this one was another one that I colored digitally. I really like this one, she's really typical mermaid, so the cute type that you expect to see when you hear about a mermaid. And then we have a snake mermaid or a snake maid. Apparently there are water snakes and they're really, really scary. So I went with that. She had scales on her shoulders too, and really fluffy fins. And she's a friend of snakes, and I really enjoyed drawing her. A mushroom mermaid. Is it impossible? Probably. But is she cute? Definitely. Would have liked to use a deeper green, maybe? A less saturated yellow. Unfortunately, this is all I had on hand, so there you go. My last mermaid is probably the one people like most. It's alright. It's not my most favorite, but she's really pretty, she's really out there. I do enjoy the shading job I did on this one. I really love working with red. Probably that's what comes through in this one. Moving on to the next category is my animals. I did a few bats in the beginning of the year. I really liked them at that moment. Not so crazy about all of them now. So this is my lace bat. I do like the bat a lot. I think I could have done a better job on the lace. It's still cute. I still like it. Now this one is one of my favorites because I do love his little face. Look at him, he's so cute. He's not really gotten the love I hoped online. Then we have my really upset three-eyed bat holding a human heart. I think I will do this concept again because I'm not 100% sold on the execution. I'm not happy on the claws here. They do not look like they're holding the heart. I can do better. But what I love is how I shaded the outside of the wings. That's a very, very satisfying gradient. Next, I did a kitty cat because, well, I like cats a lot. Unfortunately, I'm not in a situation where I can own a cat, but in my heart, I'm a true crazy cat lady. And I do have a soft spot for black cats, so I was upset when I realized I didn't really draw them. So I did start with this beauty, and I will have to do more in the future. I'm enjoying a lot the difference in style between the super fuzzy furry cat and the not so detailed skull and wings. Next we have a snail. Oh my god, I love snails so much. It is absurd how much I love snails. I don't know why people don't like them. Yeah, sure, they're slimy, but look at that face. Do you see that face? This is how snails look like. This is not something that I made cuter than it is. No, they do look like that. So a snail with a skull for a house on a mushroom, what could you want more? I love it. It's adorable. Next is this drawing that I am very, very proud of. It's one of my recent drawings. It's actually done in connection with another horror story narration, and I wanted to take advantage of the story and really go all out and read and draw again a fox, but this time is a kitsune. And actually this is one of my best-selling prints too. And there are still a few left, so if you want to, definitely go grab one. Next in my animal group of drawings is this beautiful raven. I'm really happy with how this one turned out. Really happy. I did put a lot of time into it, and it shows, and I want to do it again, maybe at a bigger scale. This one was actually originally made for Inktober, and I took advantage of that prompt. Now I do have this category of skulls / miscellaneous. One of the first things that I drew this year was this skull with mushrooms, which apparently no one likes. I don't know why. I love it. I love the snake, I love the skull, I love the mushrooms, I love everything about it. Somehow no one cares about it. Moving on is this one, which was in fact just a trial kind of thing, because I got some new black paper, I got some new white charcoal, and I did this mostly as a trial for the new supplies, and it turned out well, and somehow everyone loves it. Last of it all is this boy, who is my pumpkin man, and it's something that I've been drawing for the past few Octobers, for Halloween more exactly. And this is my third year drawing him in order to check my improvement. It's a fun little project that I have for myself, and I cannot wait to see how this year's turns out. Last but not least, one of my favorite categories is my special projects, which this year was a collaboration with another artist, with Erin, and to do so we did 2 artworks. I did one. I did this was done on a full A3 paper, and I gave it to her to complete it, to add anything she wants to it, because she has a different style, she has a different vibe, and I thought it would be really cool to combine cute and creepy. So that was what I sent to her, and she sent to me this beautiful plant, this amazing painting. I really love it. So I added my touch to it, and of course I had to add a snake, some dripping spider webs or whatever you want them to be, and I'm really in love with this artwork. And overall our collaboration has been a success, and it's been great, and I'm looking forward to doing this with other artists. I think it's such a cool thing to combine 2 different styles and create something truly unique. Probably my last illustration for this year was this goat. This goat was meant to be used as an updated logo for myself. And of course I'm really happy with it. And this was how I ended my year in art, with a creepy demonic goat. All in all, last year has been a success. I did have my ups and downs, pretty much a lot of downs, but everyone did. Still, I can see my progress in art, and I'm really happy with that. I had a chance to meet, even if only digitally, so many great new people, and here I'm talking a lot about the authors that I've collaborated with, new artists that I connected with, and it's been an amazing opportunity to do so. And I cannot wait to keep collaborating with these people and new ones to come, and have new projects, and just have fun creating art this year as well. I mean, look at this stack of art, it's so much, I did so many things. I'm really proud of myself for this one. And if you've made it this far, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. And if you'd like to buy some prints or maybe even some original artworks, I do have an Etsy shop. If you want to keep updated with all the art that I'm doing, I have an Instagram. And if you want to really keep updated with all the spicy details in my life, go check out my Patreon. Well, see you next week. Till then, stay spooky.